So there is a tiny far right in Ukraine which did very badly in the last elections, and I would guess, and I don't think it's even a guess, I think we could do it statistically, that it's a lot smaller than the fascist fringe here. You know, the existence of far right parties is now a cross-European phenomenon. It's very strong in France. It's growing in Germany. It's incredibly strong in Hungary. It exists even in some places where you couldn't have imagined it a few years ago, like Sweden. You know, the fact is that in Ukraine, it's less influential and less important there than it is in many Western European countries.
Yeah. But then there are these, I would tend to agree with you, I mean, on percentage-wise. But on the other hand, there's a war going on in the east of it.
There is a war.
And some of those people are actually fighting there. You know, you have this Azov battalion who has openly swastikas on them. And
you know, so when you have violence of that kind, which you haven't had in this part of Europe in 60 years, violence creates and breeds extremism. And there are, extremist groups who fight with the Ukrainian army, but they don't run the country, they don't dictate policy, they don't control politics, they don't have a role in the political debate in Kiev. I think you would discover if the Netherlands were to go to war against, I don't know, the Belgians, you would find extreme.
We did actually once.
You did, right? Okay. Well, if you were to do it again, if you were to do it again, you would discover that on both sides of the border, you would have a rise in violent extremism, because that's what wars do. And one of the other reasons why Ukraine would like to be associated with the West and part of the West is that it doesn't want wars like this. It would like to be a stronger country. It would like to be a more prosperous country. What's the way to become more prosperous? You need to trade, you need to develop, you need investment, you need political stability. And it's only by having trade and investment and political stability that they will be able to withstand another invasion of the kind they had in 2014. Yeah.
So you would say that's partly because of there is a war going on, it breeds extremism.
If you want the extremism to end, and as I say, you should maybe think about ending it here as well. But if you want extremism to end in Ukraine, then the way to do it is to trade with Ukraine and to ensure Ukraine's prosperity and stability. If the war continues, if Russia invades further, then you will have you could have in eastern Ukraine an expansion of this zone of instability. And again, I'm repeating myself again, but it was this zone of instability, the lack of order, which led to the situation which brought down MH17.
Yeah. And so,
and which proving, by the way, that Ukraine is not as far away as you thought it was. Okay, it's not your direct neighbor, but we now live in a global world, and we have airplanes, and we have the internet, and we have cyber warfare, and it's no longer possible to say, right, we're Dutch and we live here and we can build walls all around us and we can keep other people out and other ideas out and they can live over there and they're not our problem. No, it's Ukraine is your problem whether you want it to be or not. And by the way, so is Syria, but we can talk about that another time.